Hi there, it's
Hey.
Greer and Aaron here. Thank you for watching. Our purpose for making this video is to share our journey of divine union and the stages of our twin flame relationship and the challenges, the triumphs, and all the niggly bits and all the beautiful bits, because it's really important that twin flames do the work that they came here to do. It's really important for humanity's evolution at the moment, and yeah, we make this video in service to those who are either seeking twin flame relationship or are in a twin flame or think they might be. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've entered into a beautiful new stage of our relationship where there's real divine union. And we heard the concept of divine union a few months ago and didn't really know what it was. It sounded just like a next level relationship.
Yeah, and we felt drawn to it. So, let's
Yeah.
move into that, having
We
no
felt really
idea
drawn
what it
to
was
it.
about
Yeah.
to unfold.
But what did unfold was some really deep healing, some really deep work, releasing vows, oaths, and contracts from past lives. That was creating an unconscious codependency within our relationship. Even though we were really harmonious,
Yeah.
we rarely triggered each other, which meant we didn't even think we were a twin flame couple until we initiated this work around divine union, and then we were triggering each other.
Yeah.
And it was all for the purpose of revealing and healing some really deep unconscious energies in relation to our masculine and feminine nature.
Yeah.
And it went back to our childhood, went back to past lives. It was through our genetic line, our ancestors. It was really deep work.
And interesting with that masculine and feminine, would you say that for me it was more about kind of stepping into my feminine, and for you it was more about coming to the masculine? So it's like I was overplaying the masculine.
Yeah.
And in some ways you were overplaying the feminine.
Within our relationship.
Yeah, within our relationship. Yeah.
Like I'd had quite a strong masculine path, but that was through me healing a lot of my masculine wounds, and I'd done that quite a lot of that solo, which was me really committing to my mission and my purpose, and that's actually how we met, was when I really committed to my mission and purpose. And I'll go into a bit about that later. And to give you guys a bit of background, I have a really loving relationship with my mother, and I didn't think I had many wounds or any stuff around my feminine, but in doing this work, like the shadow work is always really interesting because it's all unconscious. We're not aware of it. We're not aware of our blind spots. And me going in and actually finding out that there was this neediness around the feminine, because I'd experienced rejection from the masculine, from my father, not feeling connected to him, not feeling worthy enough, and I'd been through a journey to heal a lot of that. I hardly ever came up anything around the feminine, but it turned out that I was very needy and around the feminine. Yeah.
Which was interesting, because in some ways that would trigger a neediness in me, a subconscious neediness in me, wouldn't it? And this is the part of the thing with the twin flame, and in our experience, is that our kind of experience of an understanding of what the twin flame is we're one soul, and we've kind of split into a masculine and feminine body, and then we've incarnated on this earth, and part of our purpose is to balance our own inner feminine masculine, which is our own actual divine union.
Yeah.
And then once we've done that, then we can come together and balance that within both of us, within the relationship.
Yeah. And so there's been different stages to the journey, and I think to give it proper value and give it proper context, like I'll go right back to my teenage years when I had that neediness. I was not mature at all, and I entered into relationships, and I had my heart broken, and I think I was 16 or 17, and I made this vow to myself. I was like, right, I'm staying single till I'm 21. And what I didn't know was unconsciously I was putting an energetic block over my heart, and that actually stayed there for many years. And it was funny because I got to the age of 21 And that was just when I had my awakening, and I was seeing this spiritual side to life, and was really getting on my path of like mastering my mindset, building my self-awareness, moving through my fears and everything. And so what I committed to instead was becoming the best version of me, and that became my mission. And I thought, well, if I really commit to become the best version of me, then it only makes sense that I'll attract in the best possible relationship. And so that went for 4 or 5 years.
And you'd heard of the twin flame then?
I had heard twin flame relationship, and my personality, my soul, just who I am, my nature, I'm like, whatever is the best, I'm going for that. And so when I heard twin flame, I was just like, yeah, of course, like, I'll have that, you know. Thinking that, you know, it was going to be, you know, all sunshine and unicorns and rainbows and stuff. And really, the twin flame experience is only for those souls who are like really committed to their evolution, really committed to embodying their highest potential, and to really going deep into the shadow.
Yeah, and to also be of service, like to do that, knowing that as we as individuals heal ourselves and kind of make ourselves whole, then we do that for the collective, and that's a big part of the twin flames. And now that there are more twin flames incarnating on Earth, as we bring this 5-dimensional Gaia to like embody this much kind of higher frequency of relationship and what it means to love, really, in a whole other dimensions.
Yeah, and really the purpose of evolution right now is to really heal the masculine and feminine within humanity. That's where the healing is really occurring, and that plays out within our own individual selves and also in our relationships. And yeah, there's many stages, and for me, one stage was really committing to my path of discovering my potential, doing personal development, deep reflection, also honoring my intuition, following my soul's calling. And I went through many massive initiations, which brought me massive levels of self-trust and self-belief. So it's my truth, and from what I've seen from other twin flame couples, is that there's usually one that's like very aware that the relationship is a real relationship, and there's the other one that might have like an idea of what they want, and they have to more surrender their idea of what they think they want and need.
You can guess who is who.
But in saying that, what the couple has in common is they're both really committed to their purpose. So if you're watching this and thinking, I really want to attract in my twin flame, commit to yourself, commit to your own journey, doing your own work. And because that's what really brought us together, was the shared values of
absolutely
doing the work.
Yeah, so I might share a bit of my...
Yeah.
So for me, I wasn't in any relationships. I was kind of really scared of boys, really scared of sex, like, so scary, until I was 17, and then I went into my first relationship, and that started off really amazing and passionate and loving, but it actually, over a couple of years, it turned really toxic and actually really, emotionally damaging and abusive. And I left that relationship and pretty soon went into another relationship, and essentially I came to the realization about 2 years ago that I'd been in a relationship from the age of 17, and even though I was in a relationship then that was actually really by societal standards, really it was really loving, it was really supportive, it was really safe, there was a need and something within me that as I went more and more into my purpose, that actually knew that I needed actually time away from that role of lover or mother. I have 2 children, and actually really come, who am I? And that was a big thing. And I've been teaching women's like circles and spiritual courses for a few years, and been doing coaching, and so I was really into that spiritual path. And I remember hearing about twin flames. Actually, I just realized it would have been about the same time that you heard about them. And I just didn't go there because I knew that what I was in, despite everything that it was, I knew that it wasn't that. And so I just was like, okay, I'm just not going to go there. And as you know, we met, I was like years later, I was teaching a yoga class and Aaron was finishing his PT courses, and I'd almost gone to stop yoga so many times, and because I knew it wasn't quite my path, but there was just something that kept me going there, and that's how we met. And we got chatting, and as soon as we met, there was a part of my soul that recognized Aaron, and it was like, whoa, I had no idea that we'd be here sitting in Sydney together a few years later, but there was a remembrance there from that moment. And you know, we came together, we started to realize we were interested in heaps of things, and we ran our first we ran a frequency upgrade workshop, and it was
2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago pretty much.
Yep.
And we kind of had a taste of what we could create together.
Yep.
And you know, the rest is a bit of a journey, but once we'd kind of, when I guess the other thing that's relevant is that when we first started to become intimate, it was more like this kind of inquiry into what is this, and how can we knew that there was like these aspects of our souls that were being birthed, and was having this like real deep joy in like holding space for one another and sharing what was really going on in the depths of the psyche. And because we were initially really good friends, there was this really, we just had full 100% honesty, because there's none of the relationship neediness or, you know, just pure radical honesty. And so we developed like a really strong bond. And
and there's this quote that says something like, you don't want to fall in love, you want to rise in love. And for me,
I like that.
For me, that's been the experience. It hasn't been this, like, what I'd imagined is, I found my ideal partner, now life's beautiful. It was like this slow surrender of just easing into it. And before I knew it, I was just like, wow, this is actually it. And it wasn't this big boom, my whole world's changed. It's just been this real gradual surrender, letting go. Obviously, I'd never envisioned having a partner with kids. That was something I've been coming to acceptance with and learning to love, and that's been just as big a part of healing some of my stuff around broken families. And
I was going to say, if anything, you were actually really committed to not being in a relationship with with a broken family. So it's interesting that was a part of you had this like kind of real charge around that.
That was one of my big reluctancies in getting together was the idea of creating a broken family. It really scared the shit out of me.
But again, at that time we just didn't. The last thing I wanted was to get into a relationship. That was like the whole idea was just to become this free like woman, just in my sense. And so so we're having a shift now. So that was was a journey. But up until a few months ago, we were living together in Tasmania. Everything's sweet. We go into this divine union work, and we realize, oh shit, this is actually requiring us to like actually really become sovereign, in the sense of really kind of fully responsible for ourselves. And for me, I went through a bit there was definitely a grief process, because my background, my family, we're super close. My mum and dad were still married for 44 years, and there was a beautiful support structure. But what I didn't realize, that there was actually an enmeshment within that, and that because this like desire to always give and share and everything was reciprocal and please, a subconscious desire to please, that it actually stopped me from really actually stepping into my full expression of who I was, aside from that conditioning, despite how loving it was.
And for me, I'd realised why I was so motivated to be on my path and motivated to embody my full potential was, again, yes, there was this aspect of me that was really wanted that, but there was also an aspect of me that wanted to it was almost trying to run away from my wounds and be something special and unique, because I didn't feel that as a child. And so that's been a big part of my healing as well. And you know, I'd grown a lot flying solo, but really the real deep work came when we got together. And that's the purpose of the Twin Flame. And so as a couple, the Twin Flame together, we have a purpose as a couple, But what makes that purpose work is us having our own individual purposes. So for Greer, she's doing women's work and women's retreats. And for me, I'm living out on a property with a really good friend in rural New South Wales. I had to really focus on saying that word. And we're building a beautiful retreat space out there. And I'm also about to start my own freedom program. You've gone.
I'm back. I went, I'm back.
Rural.
Yeah, so it's exciting, and it's been a big thing. I knew as soon as I started.
We should just say, so we're actually living apart.
Yeah.
So Greer's living back in Tasmania with the girls, and I'm living in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And we just had 3 weeks apart, and then we've just spent 6 days on the road driving from Melbourne up to Sydney, and now we're about to spend another 3 weeks apart before we join each other again in Blue Mountains for a Michaela Bowen workshop. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, we made this video because we've had mentors through our journey being together. We've had our own individual mentors prior to meeting, and then since we've met, we've had similar healers, different healers, and then we've had some mentors who are actually mentoring us within our twin flames, and it's been really important to us to have that guidance. And so we wanted to make this video and just for those of you who are drawn to it, because we trust that there's a frequency match here for you guys to be watching it. And so, we actually a couple of months ago we ran a training which was on quantum love, and it was looking at the 4 dimensions of quantum love, and so we offer that now for people if they want to, and that's a gift from us. And we do really a mix of work, but rather than advertise what we do, we actually really like to connect with people and sense into whether or not we're actually to be of service, and whether we're a match, and then feel into what's actually going to best serve you. Yeah,
because we've used a range of modalities to make our healing journey as graceful as possible, because there's been some really challenging times, and it's taken a range of modalities to really help integrate that work as gracefully as possible. And we've also found it really valuable when we've found another twin flame couple who have walked the path and actually know the potential blind spots and challenges. So even if we're not the couple to work with, we have a network that we can forge you onto. So it'd just be amazing to link up with other twin flamers.
And there's the Twin Flame Alliance also, so we work quantumly and bring in different guides as well. So if you're watching this, you can call upon the Twin Flame Alliance, and they're here to support us all energetically in bringing this new frequency of love into the humanity. Yeah.
Awesome.
Blessings.
So if this resonates, reach out to us and we can have a call.
Yeah. See ya.